Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is April, and for today's video, we are talking all things sleep. It's like really rainy out. It's a Sunday. I'm in like the coziest long sweater that I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm just like I'm in a sleepy mood, but I'm not even tired, but I'm just in the mood to talk about sleep. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I've got 7 things that I've been doing ritually to get a better night's sleep and to get like more of like a quality rest, not just being able to fall asleep and stay asleep, but also to make sure that I'm waking up not exhausted. Actually, I've got 8 tips. So not 7, 8. My dad, if he's watching this, he's probably cracking up laughing right now, like, why am I making a video about sleep? Because I never usually sleep, but I have been focusing on it a little bit more to try to get a better night's rest. So I've been kind of like learning what's been working for me, and yeah, all those kinds of things. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. Before we hop into that, I just want to show you guys the tea that I'm drinking. I am having Tea Forte's black cherry tea. So it's black tea, hence why it's called black cherry. But when I first looked at it, when I looked at all the flavors in it, it's got vanilla, it's got strawberry, and it's got licorice. And I'm like, okay. Like, when I'm looking at a cherry tea, I kind of want the cherry flavor to be like that deep-rooted cherry flavor. Like, you guys know I love my cherry almond tea because the cherry flavor is so strong in it. I just love that, and I don't like when any other flavors kind of distract from that. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, like, I'll open it up. I opened it up, and oh my goodness, I'm not trying to like be rude or anything, but the smell of the tea was repulsive. It smelled just like straight licorice to me, and I was like, this is gonna be disgusting. Like, I'm gonna have 2 sips of this and I'm not gonna drink it. But I steeped it, whatever. It's not bad. It's actually not that bad. It could definitely use some honey, so it definitely needs some sweetening. I really don't taste any cherry at all. I definitely taste a little bit of licorice, and I taste more so vanilla, I guess, than anything else. So it's not like as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's certainly not my favorite, but it definitely works if you put something that's just to sweeten it up a little bit, just to take away a little bit of that harsh kind of flavor. Other than that, the smell was really weird, but it doesn't smell anything like it tastes, so that's that. Okay, so now on to sleeping. So when I follow these next steps that I'm going to tell you guys about, I actually find that not only do I get a better night's sleep, of course, but I wake up earlier, I'm in a much better mood, I have more consistent energy throughout the day, and I just wake up like feeling refreshed, like feeling like even if I didn't sleep a very long time, the amount that I did sleep was like very rejuvenating for me. But I think the most important thing is that consistency is key with all of these things. Obviously, doing it one night here and there is not really going to work with, you know, getting your energy levels stabled out and all that kind of stuff. So my first tip is to not eat right before bed, and I am the queen of eating right before bed. I absolutely love stuffing my face like right before I'm about to lay down and just like get all bundled up and cuddled up and whatever. But whenever I don't eat right before bed, I actually really thank myself the morning after, because most of the time whenever I eat right before bed, I actually wake up like really like bloated and just kind of like my head, I don't know if it's because of the sugar or whatever, even if I'm not even having something sugary, everything just kind of breaking down throughout my sleep. I feel like very like groggy and kind of like fuzzy. I don't know how else to explain it. And then a lot of the times also when I'm eating right before I sleep, I wake up in the middle of the night so many times with really bad dreams, like crazy nightmares. And I find that when I don't eat, I can definitely avoid that for the most part. At least it's not happening like every single time I fall asleep. And of course, this also helps if you are trying to avoid any weight gain and you're just like working on enhancing your whole digestive process. So my next tip is to drink a warm tonic detox before bed, or like an herbal tea. You guys know I always started out with my lemon and ginger, and that's like something that was like my morning ritual and nighttime ritual. I've actually been really enjoying hot water with lemon lately. It's just been relaxing to me. For some reason, my body knows that it's like time to calm down whenever I drink that. I don't know, I guess it's just because I've been having it right before bed, and of course those drinks are going to boost your metabolism, going to help with your digestive system. It's going to do a lot for you. Obviously it's going to rehydrate you and all of that. It's going to help with like mood consistency, energy, stability, all of that kind of stuff. But it's just like my way of telling my body, all right, it's time to unwind and get ready for bed, and it just seems to work if I do it on a consistent basis. So my next tip is obviously utilizing essential oils. This is a given for most people. I think most people know that this is, you know, a big help when it comes to sleeping, or, you know, essential oils just help for a multitude of reasons, but for sleeping especially. Lavender always works for me. I know that's like the most basic one. Everybody uses it, but I think everybody uses it because it works. But if you go onto Pinterest and you look up essential oil blends for sleeping, they show these like all these different blends that you can make just with like mixing like a certain amount of drops of different ones together. And some of them you would never think to put them together, but they actually work, and it's actually really good. So it's like if you just give it a shot for one night or maybe during the day and just, you know, see how it works for you. Some of them really work, and I've been pretty surprised because there are blends that I would never think of mixing certain essential oils together, and for me that they've actually worked, so I think it's worth a shot. My next tip is to listen to relaxing sounds. So I actually use the Relax Melodies app. I have the entire app. I've just purchased the whole thing because I like having as many options as possible for sounds and for meditations. But there's also a really good video, and I'll try to remember to link it in the description bar below. It's called Delta Deep Sound Waves. It's super relaxing, and even during the day I play it throughout the day just to keep my mind in a calm manner. And I just find that especially at night though, it just puts me right to sleep. It relaxes me. But also the Relax Melodies app, if you want to try that, because not only do they have like a bunch of different sounds and meditations and things like that, but they also have isochronic tones and binaural beats that can help for like a bunch of different reasons, especially with calming down or, you know, choosing what kind of sleep you want. Do you want a dreamless sleep? Do you just want to calm down? Those types of things. Isochronic tones and binaural beats are very similar. One is meant for headphones, the other one is not meant for headphones. It's meant if you're just going to put it through a speaker, because what it does is when you listen to certain sounds, it's just going to trigger different brain waves to spark, and that's just going to help your body function better. And for whatever reason that you're listening to that specific sound, that's what it's going to help for. It's really interesting because when you hear it, it's kind of like do. It sounds like some like weird like vibrating thing in the background. But it works, so it's really cool. You should check it out. My next tip is to journal. I am not consistent with journaling. I always like slip out of the habit. I don't know why I do that. But whenever I do journal, I actually like to journal at night. I know a lot of people like to journal in the mornings, but for me, I like to do it at night, because at night I find that a lot of the times when I'm unable to sleep, it's just because my brain is running at 1,000,000 miles an hour and I am having a really hard time like unwinding. When I just journal and I get it all out onto paper, or not even necessarily paper, I actually have an app. What is the name of the app? Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Oh, the app is called Diary. I have no idea why I couldn't think of that name. Anyway, the app is called Diary, and basically you can even have like a passcode on it, so if you don't want anyone like looking, if people like look through your phone, or you don't have a password on your phone, or maybe certain people have a password to your phone, this one has a separate password to actually get into the app, and you can go back and check each day. You can write what your moods were, and you can just write a whole diary entry, which whenever I do that, I just find that it just clears my head. I have everything written down, whether it's things I want to do, the things I was feeling, who I'm mad at, who I just am in awe over. Like, I just write down everything. If somebody looked through my diary, they'd be like, this girl is nuts, which is probably true. But I just find it really helpful, and I think that it just helps my brain get all of that out. That way I can then just be like, okay, it's put in its corner, and good night. My next tip is to set yourself up for a good morning, especially during the weekdays if you're somebody who works like 9 to 5, or, you know, obviously everybody's got obligations most of the time during the week. I find that when I'm going to be busy, that's like the best way to do it, because in the morning, like if I don't set myself up right, and whether that's getting my outfit ready in the morning, making sure that everything is kind of clean and in its place before I fall asleep at night, I'm just running around like a mad woman in the morning. And if I know that I have to do that the next day, I'm not going to sleep well, because I'm just like, I already have anxiety about the next day that's coming. And I don't know if that happens to you guys, but it happens to me all the time. Whenever I'm not just completely prepared for the next day, my brain just like, oh, I get so stressed out. So I just always have to set myself up for a good morning, and it just kind of like relieves that anxiety and pressure off of me, and so then I can get a good night's sleep. My next tip is obviously trying certain supplements. So for me, that would be kava and melatonin. I have like the maximum strength melatonin that I got from Wild by Nature. I don't know if Wild by Nature is like across the country, or if it's just like a New Yorker thing, or maybe a northeastern region thing. But Wild by Nature is where I get it. I use the maximum strength. It's 10 milligrams. Most of the time, I believe, when you're buying melatonin, it's 3 milligrams. I find that 3 milligrams doesn't actually work for me, but the 10 milligrams usually does it. And also, I will have like the kava pills. I'll have like the kava supplement. So I'll have the kava supplement while having my kava tea, and that also relaxes me. But the kava, you want to be careful because you don't want to have too much kava because it could be potentially harmful to your liver. Not completely, but it could be if you take too much of it. So you just want to be careful with those kinds of things. But certain supplements definitely help. And then my last tip is actually, this is so weird that I'm even bringing this up. And I don't know why that this is its own separate tip. But sorry that the lighting's getting bad. It's so stormy right now. This is toner water. I got this from Lush. I used to use their Ocean Sea Salt Spray. That was when my skin was much more oily because that would actually help with its texture and drying it out a little bit more. And it was just so calming. Like when I would use their the Ocean one, I found that I would use it right before bed. It smells like a spa. They actually both smell similar. I believe that there's a third one. This one is the aroma water. This one, it says a gentle hydrating rose and lavender toner that soothes the skin and calms the mind. I definitely find that it does all of that. This one's better for dry skin, so this is why I'm using this one this time as opposed to the Ocean one. I actually think that they smell nearly identical. I don't know if that's just me. I really like this one, but I use it on my face like right before bed. I'll just keep doing it. Actually, I kind of do it throughout the day. It really is calming. It just makes me feel like I'm putting hydration back into my skin. It's so relaxing, the scent, and it also helps, which I don't know if you guys get like this. I get extremely car sick, so I usually keep this in the car. I actually had my own bottle for the car, just because it just, like, if you're feeling like really nauseous or like out of it or something like that, like this just, it feels like a huge breath of fresh air. Actually, the other toner, the Ocean Spray toner that I used was called Breath of Fresh Air. So they all are like a breath of fresh air. So yeah, those are my 8 tips. I find that they're all really helpful, and I think that you should just at least give one of these things a shot and see if it helps. And if you guys have any other tips, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you didn't watch my last video, you can go and click right here to go watch that. And I will see you guys in my next video.